Hi, I am with Bloomz. I'm Bobbi Jones. I'm the Director of Customer Success. And today we're going to be talking about how to utilize events on Bloomz and how effective are events, postings, and utilization within the classroom to encourage and to bring the community and parents into the classroom with schedules, the ability to communicate those schedules and events that are happening within the classroom. First of all, I wanted to share a couple things with you, and I wanted to ensure that you know the availabilities that Bloom has. And I want to look at a couple areas that would be really important for you to know as educators. The first area is our Facebook group. I really wanted you to know that you have the availability to go ahead and join this group in Facebook so that you have direct access to other teachers that have been using Bloomz. You can reach out. Our support also oversees this Facebook page so that we can get answers to your questions and any support you need through this Facebook page. So I really encourage you to connect with this Facebook page. Another area that I would really love for you to be aware of is our ambassador page and our ambassador group for Bloomz. Educators are welcome to join this and become an ambassador to share with all these teachers their understanding, their use, and advocacy for Bloomz in the classroom, the school district, their schools, and with their community. So if I scroll down here, after looking at all these wonderful educators, you can see on how to become a Bloom ambassador. And it's just being part of Bloomz to really advocate for equitable and ease of access communication within Bloomz, and to be one of those that enjoys serving and helping other educators know more about Bloomz. So I just wanted to share the Facebook page and the ambassador area so that you knew there were a lot of areas for teachers to be part of Bloomz and to advocate and to really share topics or share concerns, discussions, and make sure that you get that help that you need as well as an educator in the classroom, because you know that Bloomz is always changing and updating their features to allow more capabilities that you are discussing. So we build this for you to ensure that you are getting a product that works for you in your classroom and enables great relationships with parents and great communication with your parents and students. I want to go ahead and talk with my small group here, and I have Shawna here with me as well. She has been working on Bloomz for quite a few years. Shawna, do you mind going ahead and introducing yourself very quickly?
Hello, my name is Shawna Drew. I am a family child care provider located in Madison, Illinois. I've been working in my home providing child care services for 10 years. And I've been using Bloomz with my families for about 2.5, 3 years now.
That's wonderful to learn. And I hear that you are working right now, and I appreciate that you are here, and we completely understand. And I really enjoy the time to be working with you and talking with you. Shawna, you had mentioned, we had gotten a chance to talk beforehand, that you readily use events in Bloomz consistently to share that communication with families. Can you tell me a few of the things you use events for as we go into talking about how to set up events in Bloomz? What do you use the events for within your particular situation?
So for my families, if I have an event that I host for the families, I post that, I make that an event. Or if I'm doing parent teacher conferences before they have the parent teacher conference section, I use that as an event. That way the parents can go in and schedule a time and stuff like that in regards to the events that we would have.
And how has this encouraged the communication and the relationship and the ability to sign up for events and be part of that? How has that changed how you work?
I believe it has been beneficial for both myself and for my families, simply because sometimes if there are things that, because I'm a one-man show, so I'm doing a lot of things, I'm wearing a lot of hats. And sometimes if I put that event in there and I put it in well in advance, the parents get it, they're able to sign up. And then sometimes they remind me like, oh, Miss, they'll say, Miss Shawna, oh, I'll be here at such and such time. And I'll be like, wait, where are you going? What's going on? They'd be like, oh, you put the event in. And I'd be like, oh, thanks for reminding me. So it helps both ways as far as for me keeping on task with things. It encourages the parents to volunteer and be a part of their children's education and the daily activities that we do with the children here in the home.
That is wonderful to hear. And your events store in your calendar. So that's a nice touch point for you to keep track of what you have.
Yes.
In as events so that you can access that and the parents can access the calendar as well and see what's coming up.
Yes, exactly.
That is just wonderful. We've got a few other people that have come into the room. Kevin Williams as well. Thank you so much for coming here today. We're talking about events and posting those within Bloomz to communicate with our families about what's going on in our classroom, our school, our preschools, our daycares, etc. How you're using Bloomz. Those events are very important in sharing and communicating what's going on in your classroom and having that community and that engagement from parents to be part of that those exciting events that are happening. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again, and we're going to watch a short video, and I want to share where you find these videos. I shared this last week, but I want you to know there is so many supports within Bloomz for teachers, instructors that are starting out. We have a whole Beginning with Bloomz on-demand teacher training. I'm going to go ahead and show when we begin with events, signups, and conferences. And then I want to come back and do some questions and answers around this topic with you and ensure that all of you understand how to utilize this, talk about the best ways and strategies to utilize this, and how this engagement helps a superior communication and ease of use for parents on a very equitable way.
Within your class or group on Bloomz, you can utilize the calendar to help with coordination of your classroom events, field trips, and important deadlines. Regularly using the calendar and signups provide a way and encourage more parental involvement in the classroom and school activities. Through the calendar and Bloomz, you can schedule events, create signups, and even coordinate your parent-teacher conferences. Before we begin, it's important to notice a couple differences when using the desktop version of Bloomz or using a mobile app. When logging into Bloomz on a computer, you will click the plus create icon on the top right side of the screen to create an event, sign up, or parent-teacher conference. If you're using the Bloomz app on an iPhone or Android app, you will click the plus icon to see these same options. You can create an event in Bloomz and even request RSVPs in order to help coordinate planning for different class and group events. You can do this from Show for All Groups or click into your class or group. You can click directly on the calendar icon to create the event, or simply click the plus or plus create icon. Select your recipients and then select who is posting them. Fill in your information. You cannot directly upload a document to the event invite, but you can include a link to the Google Doc or any other necessary information in the notes section. You can set up recurring events as well, or keep it at no repeat for a one-time event. Select a reminder for yourself if needed. Next, select recipients. This event will be added to those people's calendars and they will receive a notification for this. You can select the entire class or create it for one person. Lastly, add any signups requests such as items needed or volunteers to this event. When complete, click send. Click OK to confirm that a notification will be sent and that this event will be added to those recipients' calendars in Bloomz. Once you have created the calendar event, you can view this in two places. First, under the Show for All groups, the upcoming calendar events will show at the top of the feed. On the desktop version of Bloomz, you can also click the calendar icon at the top of the page to see the calendar of the group you are clicked into on the left navigation menu. Or if you are in Show for All groups, this will show your aggregate calendar, comprehensive of all of your communities, classes, and groups that you are a part of in Bloomz. You can click into the event to view more details. On the mobile device, you will see the calendar icon at the bottom of the screen. After creating an event, you can click on the calendar and click on the event to view the details or edit it. On the event, you can review the description, location, notes, and view the attendees who were invited to the event. If you need to edit or add more attendees, click the options link in the top right corner of the screen. Click Edit. Here you can revise any of the details of the event, add a repeat or reminder for yourself. You can click Invite to add more attendees or even delete the event. Click Send when ready. The options link at the top of the event also allows you to send reminders, delete, copy the shareable link to send to a person or people in a message or post, and even print the event details. Signups are another way the calendar can be used in Bloomz to encourage volunteers or donations. To create a signup, click the plus or plus create icon in your class or group. Select volunteer help. You can select items or people volunteers and type in a description of what is needed. Edit the quantity. The three dots next to the items brings up more options to add additional notes or even add a bring by date for the items. The three dots next to an item will also allow you to edit or even duplicate the need for your sign up. After you finish your list, click Next. Fill in the information and click Next. Select your recipients, click Next. You can add a message to this and click Send. If you need to go back and edit your sign up, you can either click on the calendar icon, find the event, and click on the sign up to edit it, or you can select the signups tab. This will filter by all the sign up, or you can click My Signups to edit your own. By clicking Open the sign up, you can review the information, who has already signed up, any notes, and you can also click Options in the top right corner. This allows you to edit, invite more people, and more. A parent might just tell you directly that he or she would like to sign up to volunteer or bring an item. In that case, click Open the sign up, select Sign up next to the spot, and fill in the parent's information for them. After you create a sign up and send the message to your parents, it is important for you to understand how the parent will be able to view and sign up for an RSVP to an event, sign up to volunteer or bring an item, or reserve a parent-teacher conference time. Parents will be able to view this in several ways. First, a notification will go out to them in their preferred manner, text, email, or push notification with a link to Bloomz. There will also be a notification in the notification center. Parents can click directly into the event to sign up from the notification center. Events and signups also appear as updates at the top of the Show for All groups feed, so parents will see this right on the top of their feed when they open Bloomz. Lastly, there is a signups tab parents can click on to view all available signups and events, as well as ones that they have already signed up for under My Signups. By clicking the event, parents can view all the available slots, select the blue sign up option. This will always provide a place to add notes, add any other pertinent information that needs to be collected for this event, such as quantity of items. If parents need to edit or cancel a sign up or conference time, they simply need to click Open the sign up for the options to delete or to reschedule.
Wonderful. So we learned more about events and posting. I would like to go ahead and offer you to unmute and we can discuss and have any questions about the events part, any question you have about Bloomz. We've got some people, Shawna, that has been with Bloomz for quite some time. We have some champions in our room. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll let you unmute. I'm going to see if you guys can go ahead and talk and see if you have any questions that you want to talk about right now.
Hi, I'm Diona Johnson. I have also been using Bloomz for, I'm not sure how many years, 4 or 5 years. And I'm continually finding new things I can do with it. The last 2 years, I've scheduled all my parent conferences on it. It was very exciting. Last year, for example, I did my post and put all my times on, and I think within a day, I almost had all my parents signed up on it. It was incredible. So I kind of wanted to watch the seminar today to see if there's things that you're doing that I wasn't aware of. I also use it for signups for supplies needed, and it has worked beautifully that way also. So I just find that it's really nice to be able to individually speak to parents back and forth privately too. And I'm able to see their messages much more quickly than if they email me.
I think those are some wonderful points, and I'm certainly happy to hear that when you're using the events that they're working very successfully for your classroom. Anybody else want to make any comments or ask questions? You have some people in here that clearly have been using Bloomz and know how successful it's working for them.
Hi everyone, this is Kevin Williams. I'm extremely new to Bloomz. I want to try it this year. I haven't yet used any of it, and wanted to know with the parents, can I create their own separate classroom? And again, I don't know anything about Bloomz, so keep in mind I'm fairly new. All right.
So you would like to see a view of what the parents see? Is that what you're asking?
Well, how do I can I create a class just for parents, or do they have to enter Bloomz from their child?
Does anybody want to help with that question that knows inviting parents into Bloomz?
Yes, there's an area under your people that is an invite. It says parents, I guess, click on parents there, and it says class code. Is usually what I click, that class code on the bottom. And right here, this one on the bottom, if I click the class code, it'll give me, yeah, see how it says parent instructions in English?
Yes.
Or you can do parent instructions in Spanish. And I run that off and I give that out to the parents at back to school night, and I tell them all to sign up. And I tell them it's important at my first parent conference, if they're not signed up, I make sure I sit with them and I sign them up because I need every parent on there. So the parent has to join your class. You will have to create a class, and it will give you, yeah, you'll have to create a class, and it will then have a sign-in code attached to it. And then the parents join. They can either add the app and join there, or it'll tell them how to do it.
Okay, thanks so much.
Yeah, so
First create your class.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
They're joining a class, right? And that's typically how that works, is you create a class and the parents are part of your classroom. So you just have to figure out how that's happening. We have the availability to download all that information for parents for parents and students to be uploaded into Bloomz, and then those invitations go out automatically.
Okay. Yeah, I was explaining it to my principal today, and I'm trying to sell everyone to use it, although I haven't used Bloomz yet. So everyone was familiar with Remind, and I'm just trying to tell them that there's so much more, but with Bloomz, but I can only inform them of like the two-way communication and the different languages that you can use when you're interacting with the parents. But other than that, I didn't know if there was any differences with Remind. I think Also, I told them that you can add more students. I think about 400. So if you're looking at like adding an entire grade to a classroom, that's one of our options. So those were the only things that I knew of, but I wasn't sure of any other differences with Bloomz and Remind.
Right. So, ladies within the group, I would love for you to share like your favorite areas that are really big features on Bloomz. And I do want to show around a few really important areas, especially when we talk about those languages, because we have over 100 languages translated within Bloomz. You can see here that I chose Spanish for my first language. So much like a Facebook post, you guys see that this is like a social communication. The postings are coming translated in the first language that I chose, and that's available for parents and for the teacher and for the students if you're allowing students to be part of this in the upper grades. So that is an awesome feature. And there's some other features in here too with assignments, portfolios, our new health check too, where you can request a health check and it asks daily or whenever you want to do this. I'll go ahead and look at this. I'm going to select my recipients and it's selecting everybody within my class. I'm just going to choose the parents really quick and apply that and click next. Down at the bottom, it's showing me the view health check form. This is nice because you can go in, add more questions. You can manipulate this at the school level as well. This is a new opportunity to ensure that students are coming to school and that parents are really taking a check to make sure their students are ready for school each day. Any other areas that are super important to you as educators in the room that you want to share about? Well, again, we have the ability to create those events. As we saw in the video, we have those events, volunteer help, and conferences. I really love this because we can go ahead and make some very detailed conference events come up on our calendar. I'm going to go back to my calendar and look because I know that I do have some set up and we can see what it looks like from a parent's point of view and a teacher's point of view when we look at these events that have been posted. As you can see here, I have quite a few events going on in my first grade Busy Bees classroom. I do have some conferences.
Busy Bees too. Oh, sorry.
That's okay. I do have some conferences set up in here, and we have the availability to sign up for these right here. And our participant, Deona, you were talking about how wonderful this is and ease of use for the parents to sign up for conferences, correct?
Yes, and I'm cracking up because my kids are called Busy Bees also. It's just so nice. The other thing is, like, if they want to change their conference, they no longer have to send a note in to me and ask for a different time. They just go in and cancel it and switch it. They can change it. They see what's available, they can change it. And then I print this off and give it to my secretary in the office so that she has it. So yeah, it is really wonderful. And it also motivated a couple of my parents that hadn't already signed up on Bloomz to get on it because that's the only way they could get their parent conference.
Oh, I like that. I like that. So yeah, we have some other things as well as the health check that I put on there. This is going to remind these parents that were invited to this to complete that health check. I also wanted to show you a zoo trip that I put on here. So I did schedule this zoo trip and I asked for 10 zoo guides as well within my event posting. So they can go ahead and sign up to be a zoo guide. It's very user-friendly and I love all the options because in more details in my event. If I need people, I can enter the task, how many, I can make, like it said, those details, those notes so that parents are understanding. I can go ahead and click who it's going to. So there's a lot of options in here. I was gonna find another.
Yeah, this works out really well. Like when I did like applesauce making and I needed people to come in and help the kids with the apple core peeler or making the applesauce. Then I also got donations for apples and the sugar and anyway. It's worked out very well with almost everything I do to
Wonderful.
get the donations right away.
Yeah, and what an easy way to ask for those things, because many of our parents want to help our classroom, but it's very difficult with just paper that's printed out for the student to get that information to the parent. This goes directly to them in text message or an email pushed just to them, so they get that communication right away, and it's equitable. Everybody's getting the communication. It's not partial communication based on the student getting that information to their parents. It's equitable. Everybody's getting that information at once. Parents are invited to help. And once they feel that invitation and that embrace of having students in the classroom, it just blooms, right? It blooms.
I do have one thing that I wanted to mention. I've noticed that when I do a class post or a message, I have parents start giving me personal responses. And I've learned that I make sure when I respond to those, that I go to them individually, because I don't want that all in the group text.
Oh, are you doing a
So,
group post or a?
yeah, so when I make like a class post, like, remember your library books, or any kind of post just to help the parents stay up to date on something, I'll inevitably get some parent that'll give me some message back, and it's kind of hard because it's on the group post.
Oh,
So I've just learned to go directly to that parent when I respond to kind of get everything going more on their individual.
that's a great tip.
It's just something I wanted to mention to everybody.
Yeah, that's a great tip. You have the ability in your creating posts to allow comments or not. So that is one thing that you can control. You can schedule your post. You can add all these available features to your post.
Oh, and you can say no comments?
You can right down here, you can click them off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's probably a better idea.
When
Sometimes I tell you, I've also had the experience where I'll do a post and then a parent will have a question, and before I can notice the question, another parent answered the question.
I love when that happens, don't you?
That's kind of nice too, like especially when I was doing virtual teaching and I just couldn't get to them all the time. A parent would say, I can't get on Mrs. Johnson's Canvas this morning. And another parent will say, oh, she rebooted it, go back and reboot. And they were like explaining what they needed to do before. So that's kind of cool too.
That is really nice. So you do have those different postings, right? If you click create, you have all these features, and we were talking about events, volunteer help, and conferences. But since you brought it up about messaging, in your messages to parents too, you can do group messages, and that will come up in the headline as a group chat, so that when people respond, they understand that it's going to many people in the chat. Then you will have to delete and make a new chat if somebody leaves. But that's just something to be aware of if you are doing a group message, that sometimes parents don't always remember that it's going to various people within the message.
So I have one question about the 100 languages. I have never ever used a different language but English to do my posts. If I have a child that the parents only speak another language, can I just change that person's language on theirs?
No, you have to speak with the family and have them choose their preferred language for them. So it's
also when they go in and sign up, it's on their end of it.
Yes, it is.
Okay, that's good to know. Thank you.
Yep, yep. So you'll want to have those discussions with your first language speakers that are not English language speakers about choosing these so that they are understanding what they are getting from your classroom and they're a part of that communication, definitely. Really great points. So I just wanted to know, Kevin, did that help you? Did you get some new information about what is available in Bloomz?
Yes, definitely. Very insightful. I wanted to just ask, can you explain a little bit about more about the health check? Yeah, can you go to the health tab?
Sure.
Are you saying that with the health check, let's say if a kid is staying home because they feel sick, can the parent send a notification, or what is the health check exactly?
So the health check came about in this time of COVID, right? Where they were expecting parents to fill out this health check request in the morning before the students went to school in order to ensure that students were healthy going into the school building. So that's what health check is all about. So you can schedule this health check and invite those people in order to get that completed. You can look at students filled and not filled for the health report for the day at the elementary level. We also have reports on the health of the school. So that's accessible by the administration too. Look at the other reports, and I will do this in another session, but Kevin, I wanted to show you all the availability of different reports within the school to help with attendance reports, health, behavior, and even engagement, with some different reports available to the administration. Within the classroom, you can see there's reports as well. In here, actually, for this classroom, some of the reports have been disabled, so they're not using some of them. If I go to another classroom, you might see, because this is a demo account, other behavior reports available for these classrooms.
No, thanks so much, and I can look on my own. But this session has definitely been informative.
Good. I'm really excited for you to get to know more. You can look through the settings. There are a lot of things within Bloomz, the autonomy for the classroom, but also the ability for the elementary to ensure that things are streamlined within their school too. So there's different variables to the different domains with school and classrooms. Any other questions today about the events as I go back? I'm very excited that we've gotten to talk about a few different features of Bloomz. I just wanted to wrap up with talking about our events, all our volunteer help, and our conferences, and really the ease of use for these and the availability for these. I really like the RSVP, required or not required. Those are really nice for a teacher to ensure that they get the help they need. I can turn that on. I can turn on different features with all day starts and ends for my events, titles, location, notes. And again, in those notes, I could put a link if I need specifics, as well as having signups down at the bottom. So I really appreciate all of the variables that I'm able to use as an educator and at the school level. Any last comments about events and postings today? I sure appreciate you guys being here.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Of course, Kevin, if you have any questions, I'm going to put my email in here for all of you. It's really easy. It's bobbi@bloomz.com. And I'm happy to talk with you and work with you and make sure that you have what you need to be successful with Bloomz.